I mean, let's like fast forward up to now, because we started right from the beginning.
Yeah.
Right now, so you've founded 3 companies, you've helped set up big companies, and these kind of companies are those you see and very dominant in the Muslim realm. Dawah organizations, stuff like that. So you've been in the founding companies or committees of these organizations. I mean, like, and it's very interesting because all of these aspects that you've done, may Allah bless you, they're there for impact. They're there for the da'wah. They're there for very important and purposeful endeavors. But it's very interesting to see the backstory behind all of this. How it starts from very small little acts, seeing things, reflecting as well. It's an act of reflecting. You had to reflect over that person, carrying those boxes to make you feel as if that's it, I have something to do in my life. So it's very interesting how if you look at right now, the end result, inshallah, the start of something, and you can see, like, subhanAllah, how it can all start and where it can lead to as well, isn't it?
What builds on, how it helps build one thing on top of the other. Because obviously when you're there, you only realise those things once you get to this point, right? Once you've had all those experiences, and now you realise how that built on top of each other.
Yeah. So, like, I want to move on to the next topic, inshallah, because you've founded one organisation, and I was telling Shu'aib this as well, and you as well. When you sent me the video on WhatsApp, the Muslim Mastery, the organisation that you set up, it helps towards building mindset, isn't it? For Muslims, in essence. And when you sent me that, I was like, oh, I was checking out their, I've got their podcast. When we were discussing the meetings, we were looking through various Muslim podcasts when we started our podcast. What can we use for inspiration and stuff. And yours came up on it, and it's so interesting to see, what you're doing in that aspect. But you haven't just done that; you've done other things as well. You've set up You've set up a digital agency, right? And you're also working in another organisation. Is that called Life, right?
Life Digital is the company.
Yeah, Life Digital. And then the other one is what's the other company that you have?
So main thing I do right now is Muslim Mastery, which is focused on helping Muslims to have breakthroughs. That's one of the main things. It's all about the mindset and stuff, because you can see how a slight twist in my mindset just shifted my whole life. And within that, I do communications training, I do public speaker training, because communication is such a huge part of life and stuff. I'm sure we're going to go on to that later.
That was the next part,
Yeah, and then Life Digital is a growth agency that I run. It's called Life Digital because in life we believe that you're either growing or you're dying. Like, if you look at nature, it's either the plant is growing or it's dead or it's dying, right? And this is how we believe that businesses and Muslim organizations should be, that they should be continuously growing.
Right.
Because if you're not continuously growing, then you're dying, basically.
There's no stalemate.
There's no middle ground, right? And this is why I think that on a like a daily basis, like, education and development and growth is so important. And me personally, like, I've fallen in love with growth, education, development, all this thing, and that's why I spend my time coaching people. I help Muslim organizations to grow, non-Muslim organizations to grow.
Let's talk a bit more about that, actually, in terms of mentoring and coaching and stuff like that. So you mentioned growth is one of the really important aspects. When it comes to growth, I mean, like, the way I see it is that you have to constantly innovate, constantly check what's going on, reiterate, change. And I think that when I look at Muslim organizations, I think that they have a very simple mindset with raising business and having business, and they are kind of being shifted because times are changing and they are not adapting to suit that change. But you also have some other aspects, like, for example, you told me downstairs that they're also missing different strands like marketing and sales. But what would you advise in terms of, when you look at these organizations and you help people build these organizations, what kind of advice would you give to them?
Right. So when it comes to organizations, there's so many different elements to it, right? I think that the first thing we need to think about is, like, objective. Like, what is it that we're actually trying to achieve? Sometimes it just kind of comes together, right? Sometimes it's planned. Like, maybe you guys thought about this podcast, you thought, how are we going to do it? You sat down, you wrote it all out and things like that, right? I think the biggest gap is that we as Muslims are not educating ourselves in the fields that we need to. Right? So you have a Muslim organization which is great when it comes to the knowledge of Islam and all these kind of things. But the things that will help us to grow our organizations and our institutions, they're not good at. When it comes to people management and leadership, people are terrible. They don't know how to manage people. How are you going to build a great organization? Because if you look at organizations and businesses, in essence, they're people coming together for a
Exactly.
common objective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So one, you have the common objective, and second is the people. So if you don't master these two things, what's going to happen? You're gonna have a deficient organization,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And what are businesses there to do? Organizations there to do? They are there to actually. Let's switch it on you. What are businesses there to do?
Business are there to cater a certain service for the people.
Okay,
product as well.
why?
Demand
To do what?
that particular thing.
To add value.
Very good, excellent. Add value, right?
Yeah.
Most people say to make money, but the way they make money
Yeah.
is just another form of value.
Money is a means, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So organizations,
Yeah,
especially,
okay.
are there to add value,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And so what you need to get good at is actually adding value, right? And different organizations will add different value.
Yeah.
So right now, us being here and people watching this, it adds a certain value for them,
Yeah.
right?
Inshallah.
Same with organizations, that they come together to add value.